From Macau, the opium traders would sail up to a deserted island called Lintin, Solitary Nail. At Lintin, protected by gunboats, the opium was transferred into storage ships, where it waited like groceries on a shelf for customers from Canton to claim it. On decks, choking with balls of opium and silver, Chinese middlemen bought their drugs. They smuggled them back to shore in boats called fast crabs or scrambling dragons. For the foreign merchants, there was almost no risk involved.
Sales were pleasantness and remittances were peace. Transactions seemed to partake of the nature of the drug. They imparted a soothing frame of mind and no bad debts.
We are not smugglers, gentlemen. It is the Chinese government. It is the Chinese officers who smuggle and connive at and encourage smuggling, not we.
Whoever was responsible, there was no denying the effects, as Edward Delano discovered years later in an opium den he visited in Singapore.
One man was prostrate under its effects, pale, cadaverous, and death-like in appearance. He was quite insensible to touch, for when I took his pipe from his hands, he offered no resistance, though his eyes tried to follow me.
By 1835, over 2 million Chinese were addicted to opium.
The lower classes took to it because they found it stimulating and kept them at work longer than the undernourished people could have coped with the kind of workloads they had. So opium sort of eased their pain. The upper classes were greatly affected by it in a way very much like today. It's the middle class and above, the people who had the money, the young, bright children of such families were the ones who took to it, and they destroyed the basis of that already rather thin literati class that provide the ruling elites of China.
The emperor's court was extremely worried. But what did they do? Well, some people said, conventionally, of course, let's just punish all the opium smugglers. The others said, let's punish both the smugglers and the opium eaters. A third group said, why not legalize opium? In fact, the solutions they suggested were strikingly similar to the solutions proffered to solve the drug problem in the United States a century later.
In this film, produced in 1959, the Communist government of China told its version of the Opium War.
毒害了千千万万的中国人民。到1838年，仅广州一地就输入了4万多箱鸦片，抢走了3000多万两银子，中国的经济濒于破产了。这是中国人民不能容忍的。
The hero of this film is an incorruptible official named Lin Zexu. The Manchu emperor appointed Lin High Commissioner, a virtual drug czar, with the power of the empire to stop the Canton opium trade. The communists in power today have a reason for keeping the spirit of Commissioner Lin alive. From party theorists to school teachers, Lin has become an enduring symbol of the need to stand up to the corrupting influences of foreign trade.
全部消費，所以咧佢哋係一個民族英雄。大家睇下佢嘅樣子、個神氣，再仔細睇真啲，睇佢似唔似一個愛國者？點解話佢係民族英雄咧？大家睇真啲。
In 1839, Commissioner Lin arrived in Canton to survey the forces he would use to stop the opium trade.
这炮是哪一年出的？
乾隆42年，比我还大3岁了。
能够试一炮吧？
行，请吧，开炮。 您看，咱们就是这样的炮。
The Manchu military power was basically built, like the Mongols, was built on horse. They simply did not expect that the new groups of barbarians would not come from the continental border, but from the sea.
Lin wanted to know more about the foreign devils who were pushing opium.
小王，那不是商馆吗？是的。把船靠近一点。
As he surveyed the Canton factories, Lin decided that the British merchants must be outlaws. The British government couldn't possibly support men like these.
So here you have a macho British trader who feels limited by a condescending Chinese system. For the Chinese Mandarin, they'll say, well, who are these people? Just a bunch of real barbarians who drink and who eat and who do all these nasty things and who, of course, smuggle opium.
Lin decided to write a letter to a more cultured foreigner, the Queen of England.
There is a class of evil foreigner that makes opium and brings it for sale, tempting fools to destroy themselves merely in order to reap profits. What is here forbidden to consume, your dependencies must be forbidden to manufacture. If you do,